Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Vitamin Water was born in New York because New Yorkers wanted more. Like more flavor to go with all the flavor. A refreshing drink after climbing 6 flights of stairs to a walk-up apartment or standing in the subway station in 100-degree heat. Focus when I have an 8-hour shift. And Triple X after I was out all night at a club. Call Triple X. Drink Vitamin Water. It's from New York.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. Thad Bell and Robert Russert are here with me. 2-1 loss in Cincinnati. They kept it interesting there at the end. That's kind of all we can hope for. Cincinnati's a very good team. We're going to talk about the new vibes and hope and optimism. I think even watching them play a much better team, I had a bit of optimism coming into this. So there's something there. We're going to talk about all of that. But Thad, I see that you say you are mildly optimistic here. Did you know that that's what I was going to do in this podcast? We're going to talk about the optimism. Because it's interesting you do that after a loss, right? They had the big fun win, and then now we're talking about being optimistic even though they just lost.
I did not know you were going to do that, and if I did, I probably would have put something different up there just to mess with you.
Great minds.
But no, I am mildly optimistic. Yeah, it was a loss, but I'm looking for positive signs, right? I'm usually trying to be more optimistic.
You are?
I
think the opposite of that with you. Okay, well that's good.
No, that's just my attitude with you. That's
yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're a wonderful person, man. I always give you credit and praise for back at it again and many other things. But I feel like I'm looking for the optimistic stuff, but I'm still trying to be realistic. So I'm not trying to be over optimistic.
All right, Robert. Let's talk about this loss to Cincinnati. 0.47 xG for SKC, 0.86 for Cincinnati. They got 2 goals, but Robert, it took a goal of the year candidate to beat them in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys reacted when that one went in, but it just seemed like, I don't know, kind of out of nothing because he was standing there, right? And then, he sees the ball come and just all of a sudden it just clicked in his mind, oh, I should bicycle this. And he does, like it's nothing, and it's in the back of the net, right? It's like, yeah, okay, so if that's what it takes to beat us, so be it. But damn, that looked too easy.
Well, that didn't look too easy. That was a major feat that he accomplished there. I just want to say, though, he definitely shinned it, right? That wasn't as perfect of a kick as we're all talking. I think it hit high off the ankle. I'm just saying. It wasn't as good. Everyone wants to be like, that was the greatest goal we've ever seen in this league.
So
I don't know about that, brother.
No, it was not the greatest goal, but it was pretty damn good.
Yes, very, very well taken. And yeah, like Robert was saying, it was just kind of like a hopeful dink into the box. And it did just absolutely come out of nowhere. But that guy, that dude is massive. What did they say, Robert? How much was he signed for? I missed that during the broadcast, but he is one of their big signings that they spent a lot of money on.
$16.2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16.2.
We don't have anything like that.
Dang, I could do a lot with that money.
I don't think we have that on our roster that is capable of doing that. Thad, we were talking about the defense a lot last week, but all they allowed was 0.86 on the XG. Is this defense...
had to explain to...
wow, Robert is on a big delay.
Hey guys, I think I might be having internet issues, so I explained to my fiance that $16.2 million is what they paid just to get him.
Yeah, not even his salary, which we don't know yet until they release that. Thad, 0.86 on the XG for Cincinnati in this one. We were talking last week about defensive woes, worry we had about the defense. Is that center back pairing the one?
Well, I kind of hope not, but it is what it is right now. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say the defense was great because they weren't great. I mean, they could have done better. The first goal was somebody shifting too much, somebody having to cover that, then having to react to the other guy that they had to leave open. All of that went into play there. In the second goal, yes, fantastic bicycle, but it could have been a little bit tighter. Of course, he might have got kicked in the face for it, but then it would have not been a goal. So that would have been good.
Robert, we've got Voloder and Miller. Is that your center back pairing?
I agree totally with that. God, I hope not. But Miller, he had a strong game. Voloder had a strong game. It's just two young guys who seem to be prone to errors at the wrong time, right? I don't think is who we want as our center back pairing. But then again, isn't Rosero prone to errors at the wrong time? Isn't Fernandez? Maybe not as much. But this center back is still a question mark. Yeah.
Very much so. It's a question mark. It's, the midfield let some stuff through too much at some points. But again, they were playing a top team in the East as a team who's still trying to find themselves, trying to get a rhythm, trying to find success under a new coach. I mean, I'm trying to be positive here that these are all positive signs that they're going to continue to get better. But that's what we got to figure out, right? Are they going to continue to get better?
I guess Voloder's not that young anymore, but two maybe less experienced guys that we had in there. Kerry Zavagnin put Nemanja Radoja back in the holding midfield spot, maybe for a little more experience in that spot, Thad.
Well, he was out there, but I mean, Bartlett was still there, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Nemanja was more kind of the 8, but the extra help for Bartlett when it was needed.
Yeah, seemingly more of an 8.
I know I was trying to be optimistic earlier and positive and all that good stuff, and I am positive about it. But keep in mind that it was a 2-1 loss, but we scored the goal pretty late in the game. Our XG wasn't all that high.
It was very low.
Well, again, I'm
optimistic, Cody. Optimistic.
Okay.
Positive, But the one goal that was scored was late in the game when they were up 2-0. And, we're kind of just going to sit back a little bit. So that late goal was just a, consolation prize, essentially. They didn't play well enough to have won, but to Kerry's point that they were perhaps more organized than they had been in the past, more connected for the most part. Yes, they made mistakes, but that's why I'm seeing positives is that they were playing a little bit better as a team, but it was an away game against a top team in the East. I don't know if they're as good as their position, but because you can say they played a lot of lower teams, but that's what happens when you're at the top of the table. Everybody's below you. Sporting's playing a lot of teams that are better than them because they're at the bottom of the table, so everybody's better than them. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, I feel that. It does seem like every team we're playing is really good. How about something positive from the game? Manu Garcia, I thought, had a good game. I'm really liking the way he's growing into the team and into the league. 3 chances created, 83% passing, 8 for 11 long balls, and this is the one I like. 20 passes into the final third. Until we got him, we were missing that distribution into the final third, the connection and building up from the back. He does it himself. He passes in there, and he also is very good at turning and facing the offense and bringing it into the final third. So I really like Manu Garcia. I think he's falling into his place here, Thad.
Would he be your number one vote for the out of the 5 newcomers? We've been doing this every week.
Yeah, maybe. I really liked Decky's fight in this game. He was bulldozing people and playing kind of angry, and I don't think I had actually seen all of that from him. At one point, he literally did bulldoze 2 people over and kept possession of the ball. So I really like that. I feel like he's clicked into something else. Like he's found another level of passion or urge to actually do this. So I do really like that. But yeah, I think maybe I do like Manu as my number one right now.
So yeah, on Decky, the way Cincinnati was kind of playing a little bit of a low block, during some of this and really making us work for what we did. Dejan had his back to goal a lot, which is not his thing. He needs to be able to turn and face the goal. And Cody, you're right. When he was able to do that, then he certainly did show that, I don't know, drive, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of that, switching the ball from side to side, playing on the wings. Like I was like, okay, this looks a little bit like we were a couple, games ago. But I think it's the way Cincinnati was playing us that forced us to do that. But going back to Manu, he just needs to really, him and everybody that's working with him, really finesse that last ball. Through balls occasionally, don't go the exact spot they need, or the run is not where it needs to be. So I think that's a piece that can grow. And if it does, this team could be pretty dangerous. And we're saying pretty dangerous. They scored 7 goals the last 2 games before this. So, yeah.
Yeah, Robert, I'm with you on that. I have seen those plays also. He had the good idea for the pass. Maybe it didn't go as exactly as it should have. I've seen those, but I have seen plenty of plays where he did make a pass that got around that corner, sent someone down the wing that we have not had someone that makes that pass or considers making that pass for a long time.
Or can beat people on the dribble as consistently as he does.
Right.
I think when over the last few years, however many years, actually forever, Vermees has said, 10 games is the thing. And I think Robert and I talked about this last week. It is 10 games in, but it's 2 of the main key components had no spring training, preseason with us. So it is still trying to feel some of those guys get that connection. And those connections are happening. They're getting better. I mean, Shoppy is getting used to this league. Manu's finding those spaces, finding those passes. They don't all work. Dejan has went from a championship amazing team to this team, and but again, I don't want to put that too much of a negative there. LA Galaxy the year before they won the championship was not very good either. He's been through that cycle of a bad team becoming good. So he's used to that, but he does have that championship mentality. And I think that's maybe why he was frustrated and getting angry. He didn't score and wanted to score, and he's going to play angry when he doesn't get goals.
Robert, you mentioned, go ahead.
Yeah, looking at the XG as low as it is, but don't you recall Ndenbe missing 2 that he should have put away? And I think Dejan even missed 1 that he should have put away. So the XG being that low is a little surprising to me, because they had good chances.
Robert, you said earlier about that they were just kind of passing the ball around the wing back and side to side, and that it felt like what they were doing at the beginning of the season. I am with you on that, but for some reason, where before it felt that they didn't have any ideas and just couldn't get that ball in there.
Yeah.
This feels a little more like just being patient. That first time it was all these new players. Joveljic isn't on the same page with everybody yet. Daniel Shalhoub is not doing anything over there. And I just think nothing was meshing. Now I do think that there's a little more of that. It seems more purposeful, that passing from side to side, that maybe something is going to open up. We saw that at least in the last game, the 5-goal outburst, that very clever pass from Shoppy, split 2 guys and sent Manu into the box. So I at least have a little more confidence now in that style of play that they were doing than I did at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Another aspect is we've been pressing up higher the last couple of games. And last night, I mean, how many times did we win the ball, in Cincinnati's end? So that's a good turnout for sure. And as soon as we can cash those in a little bit more regularly, it's going to be a good thing.
Okay, so yeah, Robert, I'm actually just now noticing. I mentioned Thad's name in the chat here. Thad is mildly optimistic. Yours is Believe. So again, after we lost a game, do you guys remember we lost this game? I know they're good, but we lost.
Exactly.
And everyone is just flying high. We're riding on good vibes here. It is making me happy. I'm with it.
I mean, as Thad said earlier, Cincinnati, they're a good team.
Yeah.
They're not to their top peak yet. I mean, Miazga just came back, for example, and Evander's still working in, but They're a good club, and we performed well in Cincinnati, and we didn't look outclassed.
Yeah, that
Except for Denke's, bicycle.
Definitely outclassed on that one. But that again, it's just how we're phrasing it. We used to make all of these excuses. Oh, we only lost by 1 to a good team. Maybe they're not that bad. And it felt pathetic. Like, it started to feel pathetic the number of times that we did it. But now again, the vibes. We got good vibes. The way you look at this feels different. Like, okay, look, they actually did kind of hang with this incredibly good team.
Yeah, and again, it's not just that they hung with the team. They had their chance. They could have a little bit here, a little bit there. But it's not just the one game, right? It is that they are 2-2 under Carey. 1 home win, 1 road win. One home loss, 1 road loss.
That was crazy to hear at the beginning of that game, them say winners of 2 of their last 3. That was just fun to hear. I hadn't actually thought about it like that.
I know. I've said that I was saying that to some people, like, hey, they won 2 out of their last 3. Now it's 2 out of their last 4, but again, they can get a result this weekend, hopefully, against LA.
Okay, have we wrapped up the Cincinnati discussion?
Do we want to vote on our top new players?
Yeah, rank them 1 to 5, man. You got Manu, Cody. You want to go first?
Oh, I have to keep going after that?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you do.
I put them all even after the top 2. No,
that's
okay.
a way to chick it out, Cody.
No,
way
okay.
to chick it out, man.
Shoppy is number 3. I'm still liking Shoppy at number 3.
So who's 2?
Jovic.
Okay, just checking. I mean, you could have said Bartlett or Miller.
Neither. They're even in my head.
Robert.
I have to go with Manu for sure. He's a talent. He is, and he plays consistently well every game. Number 2 is a bit of a tougher call.
What do you like?
I'm going to go with Dayon because Shoppy, he actually hit a ball with his right foot, so that was impressive by Shoppy.
We
came somewhat close.
We almost didn't mention that. Even the announcers were talking crap on him, and that everybody knows that the teams are going to start forcing him to go to his right foot. And then he whipped one out, and it was a good strike. It didn't hit the frame, but like for a second, I kind of thought it might.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Shoppy's 3. 4, Bartlett had a good game. He didn't have. Okay, here's what Bartlett did better this game that I saw. I think he won a few more balls in the midfield than he has the last couple of games because I've been watching him pretty close the last couple of games. So that was good. And Miller didn't do anything wrong. We got a mark in the box a little bit, of course, but he had some good one-on-one interventions. So it's a pretty good showing by all 5, but I'm going to put Miller at the bottom, even though he wasn't that bad.
I'm going to go along with you exactly in that order. Miller was actually the second highest rated of the defenders.
Yeah.
Just found that funny from FootMob. But I see Bartlett growing. I see Miller growing. They still make some mistakes, and I don't want to call them rookie young player mistakes because they're at this level. They need to play and show that they deserve to be there. And right now they deserve to be there because there's nobody better than them.
Yeah.
Can we talk about one person who I did not think was good?
Yes, please.
And I'm not doing this to,
You don't need to. I can literally see you typing in our rundown. You're about to say it. You don't need to type it out on your phone in the rundown if you're about to say it.
Hey, I didn't know you guys were going to stop that quickly.
You didn't want to be yelled at for not being prepared and having it on the rundown, man.
Exactly.
So you put it on the rundown, took a timeout, had a long pause of not saying anything. It actually wasn't that long, but had a pause of not saying anything. Put it on the rundown so he doesn't get yelled at. It's your fault, Cody.
No, he was literally sitting there like slowly. He was focusing on typing, looking down on his phone that he needed to get that out.
Because you guys were still talking.
And then he'll get his point out. Okay, I'm sorry. I do see your player that you're about to say, and okay, I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie Shelton, he did not have a good game. It's where attacks went to die on that right-hand side. When they played the ball back to him or to him, it was like, I'm not quite sure what to do. And he would make a short pass to someone as a safe pass. And he kind of looked scared. He didn't know what to do. there were times when he could have used his athleticism, his speed, and just, played the ball down the wing and just outrun the guy, but he didn't do it. So Kyrie did not have a good game in my book.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think I saw that he was a little scared, like you said. I mean, I could understand playing a fairly new position or one that you weren't born to play, and now you're facing this very good team. I could definitely see that. And there was also one point Shoppy got very upset with him, that Shoppy had a 75-yard recovery run, and he did. He got back there where he was needed to, and then when he did and saw that Kyrie wasn't there, he had his hands up, and he was like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he get up on a step stool to yell at Shelton?
No, because Kyrie was still 20 yards away, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
So what? Shoppy, 5'8", 5'6" with the hunch. Is that what it is?
Yeah. If he didn't hunch, he'd be taller.
the hunchback of Sporting KC.
You guys were talking about Jansen Miller. I'm with you that he's probably playing a little better. I said this before. I'm having trouble getting past his face. Thad said he looks like an office worker. He does. He looks like a CPA. He looks like he does your taxes for the year. But he is getting better, and he did show that fight in that one game. Was that the St. Louis game where he was pumping up the crowd? He was kind of going at it. Oh yeah, he got Jake into a fight later on. That's right. So yeah, that's the only way. With the normal looking guy that he is, the only way you're gonna win me over is by doing things like that. And continuing to grow into that center back role. So,
all right, I won't type this in, but there is one more thing I do want to talk about. How much do we miss Jake Davis? I mean, a game like this shows how much we miss Jake Davis, right?
Yes, but would he have been better than Nemanja in there?
Well, Jake plays more on the right. And yeah, I guess Manu was playing anyway.
I would say going forward, yeah. No, in my opinion, I think Jake would be better at that end than Nemanja is.
And I think he's better at winning the ball with that high press and then immediately taking advantage of it with a good pass or a shot. And we just kind of missed that, I thought.
I do think that Nemanja has actually played pretty well this year for being that he's been playing more 8 than he has 6.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know, I caught crap from somebody at SKC. You guys, ragged on him, and he had, amazing stats for that game. I'm like, yeah, well, it didn't show up in the game, so, But he has actually played pretty good in those moments. I still want to see younger players out there at this point.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that's also, something we're going to have to debate throughout the rest of the year is, do you want the young guys to play, even though if they could have gotten a better result with an older guy? That's right now Carey's playing the young guys when they're available to play and healthy. But it's also they're the ones that are young, they're available to play because the other guys have been hurt a lot. So is he going to continue that throughout the season when he needs to get wins to show that he needs that job or he should deserve that job? I think that's something we'll have to see.
It's a great question.
Well,
go ahead.
What do you think about Eric Tommy consistently coming off the bench? Is that where he belongs?
Yes.
Yeah.
At the moment, he as a starter, again, I like him better on the right side, but Shoppy has been more chopping. He's been more shoppy. He's doing stuff, and he had to give him some time to figure out the league and get his feet under him here and all that stuff. Tommy on the left, I don't like as much. In the midfield, he sometimes tries too hard. Especially, I think when the team's doing good, he doesn't try so hard. But when they're not doing good, he's trying too hard and creating more problems. I love Eric Tommy as a player, as a guy, but I think he's just better on the right side. So I do like him coming in as a sub right now with that little extra, rest and attack and all that stuff. But that's all contingent upon Shallowy still playing well and Shoppy playing well. It's whoever he's the guy that's going to come in for one of those two. And then you got, of course, Afrifa has an option also. I don't know if I answered the question, except I think I did.
You mentioned the try hard, that he's maybe trying too hard. One thing you didn't say in that why I like him coming off the bench is just that energy. He brings that try hard energy, that change of pace. It just kind of opens up the game a little bit, throws off the defense, and I do like that change of pace for him. Thad, you actually brought up an interesting discussion there a little bit ago about, do we play the kids? Do we want results? Which are you looking more for? So that asks the question of expectations for this season. Thad is optimistic. Robert is starting to believe, as their names in the chat are showing me here. So that's the question that we're going to talk about when we come back, is expectations for this year. We'll be back.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. The NBA playoffs are here, and Michelob Ultra is getting you closer to the game than ever with courtside seats and more. Enter now at MichelobUltra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Superior Access Courtside 2024 to 2025 sweepstakes. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Ends on July 1st, 2025. Multiple entry periods. Visit MichelobUltra.com/superior access/courtside for free entry deadlines and official rules. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited.
Spring is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Hello, Nigel here. As an owl, I love to be awake all night, but allergy sufferers like you probably don't feel the same. So take Zysol at night to relieve allergies while you sleep. Then wake up fully refreshed for a more productive day. Zysol works fast and offers 24-hour continuous relief from sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat, so you can enjoy doing the things you love all day long. Be Wisol. Take Zysol at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
All right. Thad, I think you phrased that question in a good way to start this discussion about if our expectations have changed this season. Are you wanting to play the kids, or do you want to get those results so that Sporting Kansas City sneaks into 9th place and we have something to fight for there at the end?
Well, I want both.
Okay.
But and I don't think they're mutually exclusive, but I don't know that I'm correct either. So I think Bartlett plays. I think if you have a center back that's being better than Voloder or Miller, then they play. I want Bartlett to play more, even if he's not necessarily 100% the better option, just because he is a long-term future guy for this team.
Okay.
So there's a lot of balancing of all of that stuff. But one of Peter's greatest weaknesses was he was always wanting to win the next game. It wasn't about being the better team next year. It was win the next game, and everything will take care of itself if you keep winning the next game. And I get that, and I don't think it's wrong, but it wasn't always right either.
Right, because they didn't keep winning the next game. So
right.
When plan A fails, you have to have a plan B.
Well, plan B is win the next damn game.
Right.
Come on, man.
Which is also plan Z.
Yes, and D and Z and X,
and 10
Y,
games
and
later, you're like, what the hell?
So, Robert, are you starting to believe and that we should make the playoffs, or are you still on the boat of like, hey, man, let's just play the kids. Let's figure out what we have for next season?
Well, you said the word should. Right. How about the word could?
Well,
even playing the kids, I think this team does have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yes, that's where we landed, because 9 teams make it, and you should be able to make. We were hoping they could make the playoffs before the changes in optimism this year. So, should they make the playoffs now?
Well, I said before that they wouldn't. Remember, I changed mine. I originally said yes, and then I changed it.
Are you flip-flopping again there, Mr. Politician?
They've got a lot of work to do.
His expectations have changed. He didn't think they could. Now he thinks they could. That's a change of expectations.
Yes, that is a change of expectation. But there's still a lot of work to do. But I think this club is headed, in the right direction. there are teams above them that are pretty inconsistent and have a lot of issues themselves. And I think we're just going to keep outscoring teams until we get that center back in the summer, and then maybe we'll have a stout defense too.
That leads you to my question that I put in the rundown on segment 2 is, will they have time when we have the summer window to make a difference? Because the summer window starts on July 26th or 27th, something like that. They have a game the next day. So they could bring a player in before that and have them practicing and be with the team and all that good stuff. But they couldn't register them until that point, and they would have 11 games left after that.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. 11 games after doesn't seem like very much. But that
third of the season, though.
A third of the season. And remember what Sporting did that last third of the season when they eliminated St. Louis from the playoffs. So was that 2 years ago now?
Well, that was kind of 2/3 of the season because they were terrible for the first 10 games, and then they were great for the next 24-ish games.
Yes, and those last 11 games are when they brought in 2 new guys. That was Eric Tommy's addition into that lineup. So there's
that was the year before, no?
Oh, it wasn't? Okay. There were 2 people brought in that season. I thought that maybe I am mixing 2 seasons. Okay.
I think maybe you are.
So maybe 11 games isn't enough. You've convinced me.
Well, and I don't know that it isn't, okay? I just don't know that it is. Last year, they brought in Joaquin Fernandez as center back help, but he didn't show up at the beginning of the window. He didn't show up in the middle of the window. He showed up near the end of the window, and he was hurt. And then he only got 2 games in, which was way too late to have been any help. And then he wasn't much help when he was in. So I'm just asking that question. If they go out and they get a player, out of the championship and bring him in whatever position, and they have him practice with the team for 3 weeks before they get him into a game, that can make a big difference. But a lot will just depend on where they're at that point, because they're 10 games in now. If there's 11 games left in there's like another 12 games in between, 13 games in between, that they can still either screw it up and not be good enough to even have a chance at that window, or do well enough that makes a difference. We'll have to see.
Robert, let's assume that the 11 games after the transfer window are enough to make a difference. You are playing Mr. Burns. You have 2 moves. You get to change 2 positions in the summer transfer window to have the biggest impact and propel Sporting Kansas City into the playoffs. What are the 2 positions?
It's got to be along the back line, because I think the midfield is enough right now. We're doing the high press, and that kind of can leave the back exposed, a lot of space behind them. So I really think it's the back line we need to look at. So it's got to be a center back and a right back in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, a center back for sure. I honestly thought you were about to say 2 center backs.
No, I'm having some faith in Mr. Miller. And I think Fernandez is enough. We just need a third person there. And Voloder, he does well at times. It's just not consistent. Rosero, I'm pretty down on. So
I think I'm higher on Rosero than Fernandez. Not
really?
that I'm high on either one of them, but I think I still have maybe more confidence in Rosero. I don't know why. Thad,
I don't know.
Thad, where are you making your changes?
Well, I'm adding a center back. I just don't know which one I would take. If it came down to Rosero or Joaquin, which one I would try to move or cut or whatever at that point. Because I'm not sure which one I'm liking better at the moment. Neither one of them's healthy.
Yeah.
Rosero has shown some great things. Joaquin has shown some good things because he's been a little more consistent, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you could bring in an experienced center back who could help Miller become the guy that we want him to be, a 8-year Sporting Kansas City player type of thing, which he could be, then let's get that guy who can do that. Yes, I understand why you say right back, because Kyrie it's still not his natural position, and he has over time showed that he's played it pretty decently for a guy who didn't play it as a regular position.
Yeah.
But you can definitely improve that. But we did also go out and get Brody, who hasn't had much time with the team.
No,
he was the consistent, healthy guy forever with RSL, and then he comes over here and hardly plays. but he is at least back healthy. He can get some time. He just hasn't had a lot of time to get back in shape or fully in shape, I guess.
So I've heard
So
center
I don't
back.
know if he's the answer.
I've heard center
Yes.
back. What's the other position?
Well, as Peter used to say, we're looking at every position. But I would love somebody that's better than Memo, who's been in the past pretty consistently decent fill-in. So another 8-ish type of player who can make Jake work for it, make Nemanja work for it, who can maybe relieve Manu, because Manu can't play 90 minutes of every game throughout the rest of the season because he already played half a year before he came here.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Tommy would be the assumed backup for him at the moment.
I want the team to be good enough that Tommy is a backup for everything.
Right.
Okay,
so Thad, I'm with you. I'm with you exactly right there. I think I was going to say a center back and an 8. Are there a lot of 8s in the world that can also play as the 10?
There's not a lot of 10s in the world, so they're all 8s at this point.
Well, that's a valid point, honestly.
what used to, like, every team was looking for 10s, and there's only, a tenth of the 10s that used to be out there in this world. So they're pretty, and because of teams have shifted tactics and formations, there's less like a diamond 4 in the middle where some 10s just pulling the strings at the top of that diamond and type of thing, and everybody else does the real work behind it. There's so many 4-3-3s and 4-2-3-1s and all those different variations. There's not a lot of true 10s. So I just go for a good attacking 8, another Manu, but with maybe some size, maybe a 6'1" Manu would be amazing.
Oh my God, yes.
That guy is
pretty rare, isn't it?
Yeah, because they would probably cost a lot of money. So on the positive side, if we could get those guys in, they would have 11, 12 games to make 11 games to make a big difference. And they have the roster spots to do something. And they have it to do, they can bring in a U22 player, and they have extra cash now after they sold William upon first reference Agata.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want somebody else in the midfield. It's not that I don't like Jake Davis or don't believe in Jake Davis, but like you said, I would like to see someone push him. I think Jake is the kind of guy that if he seems to be a fighter to me. And I think if he has a guy that he's learning from and chasing and all of that, then it can pull out more of his game than we've even seen so far. And yeah, man, I look at that midfield and I look around the league and we need another guy in there. I feel as though I'm relying too much on Manu. It seems like he's the only one that is capable of getting the ball through the midfield or creating something in the final third. So, yeah, for me, it's a center back and a midfielder.
Yeah, and at some point, some, Miazga or some other, 6'4" center back is just going to step on him and he won't be able to play the next 5 games.
Yeah.
And we still need to have some attacking creativity there. Having another person who can at least back that up. Again, Jake isn't a 10. He's not a super talent. Like, he is very talented. I don't want to say that wrong, but he's not the super attacking guy that, you would want to be in that role.
Yeah.
I think he's a very, really good 8, but you just want that other option.
I can't believe you guys are dogging on Zorhan Basong. He scored last night. Come on,
true.
he's the
That's
answer.
true.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, the guys coming off the bench aren't gonna do what you guys are talking about. Memo's not gonna do it. Zoran's not gonna do it. Tommy is occasionally gonna do it, but he's not in the midfield. So yeah, I can see definitely what you're saying there. It's just we gotta hope that Brody comes through and Kyrie can fill in or whatever the situation is at right back.
Yeah, because I don't want Jake playing there consistently.
Right.
As much as I like Kyrie as a person, I want somebody that's slightly better than him, if not greatly better than him in that spot. And I don't know if Brody is that because I didn't pay enough attention to him when he was with RSL, but they didn't think enough of him to keep him.
Exactly. He doesn't look the part, but hey.
Neither did Sinovic.
Yeah, but come on. He was pretty limited. Come on, man.
So what's next on our rundown? Santiago Munoz?
Yes,
I don't know how much you guys talked about that early in the midweek when you and Carrie did a pod. Is that right?
Whoa, speaking of Carrie, the second you said her name, she popped into the chat. She has returned from the Cincinnati road trip. She got the Skyline chili, not in Ohio, but in Kentucky, apparently. Carrie, how was the trip? How was the game? Do you regret driving all that distance to see them lose?
I don't regret it. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
All right. I don't regret going. I do feel like we have not yet seen a away win, so maybe that's on us. But also, I feel like if I did not go, we may not have had the bicycle kick goal on us. So
you got to see a worldie. That's good. It was worth something.
Yeah. Well, we sat down after that, so we had to.
So yeah, Robert, we were just talking about the spots that they need to bring someone in. And they brought in a spot that everyone thought we kind of were all set on, and they brought in Santiago Munoz.
Hey, maybe he could be the guy that you were talking about. Could be a 10/whatever to replace Manu, and if he needs. But
is that
yeah, it's a good bit of business for sure, right, guys? Get this on a loan, option to purchase. It's not really costing us a whole lot.
Yeah.
And then of course the business with Mr. Agata.
Yeah, it seemed like an easy decision, and obviously they knew something was happening with Agata. And even without that I had the thought, remember when they first brought in Felipe Gutierrez? That was when people had the same questions. They brought him in when we had several midfielders already, and it seemed like we now had a plethora of it. But this is MLS, man. We have the weird schedule. We're on a different season than everybody else. I think sometimes if you've been looking at a guy and all of a sudden he becomes available, you take him, especially when like you said, Robert, you know, it's not at a major cost to them, and they have an option to buy if things do work out.
Yeah, but I don't know that this is the same type of thing as Felipe Gutierrez, because there's two ways to look at it. Sometimes there's a guy available that you've been looking at for a long time, you take him, you grab him, you didn't shift everybody else. Then there's I can make some money by moving this guy, and I just need a backup to fill in that spot.
Right.
They have Toye, but he's also never been super impressive. And now you get a 22-year-old, he'll turn 23 this year, so he can't be a U22. But he maybe he hasn't done a lot anywhere so far. But you bring him in and you see what you got. You kick the tires and go, hey, this is cool, or send him back home and you haven't really lost anything, but you have a backup just in case.
So
does anyone remember the last loan that we've had? I don't know, so I was curious because I feel like we haven't gotten that many loans. And I think it's kind of important for people to remember that this is just a loan and we're not married to the guy.
Yeah.
So who was the last guy that we got a loan and then we did sign him full time? Who was that?
There's no
not
way.
Too long ago.
There's no way that this is right, but the last loan I'm thinking of is Emiliano Amor.
No, obviously, but
that was like a decade ago. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
Was it Gotti? Was Gotti on loan when he first came here? And then we signed him?
I was thinking it was either Gotti or Agata, and then we signed him the following year, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go dig through to make sure.
I think it was Gotti Kinda.
It was Gotti Kinda.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
See?
That worked out. But I think the thing with Munoz may be this. Willie was the guy, and you guys can disagree with me if you want, but needed to be fed. You know, he got in good spots. The ball needed to be delivered for him in those spots.
And
maybe
even then,
perhaps.
And even then he does.
Right. Perhaps Munoz is more of a guy who's open play. He's going to do some more things that maybe like a Dayon does, as opposed to Willie's the way he played. So perhaps that's why Munoz is the guy that they went and got.
Thad, is he the backup, or is Mason Toye still the backup?
TBD. I don't know, man. I haven't even seen the guy in a practice yet. So
yeah,
he came out to practice the other day. The first day he was the day after he arrived in Kansas City, he went to testing, came out to practice because he had just literally arrived right when practice was starting. Went out and shook hands and had to run a tunnel already and get slapped for just showing up.
Of course.
And then they were going to work with him after that. So I like to at least see a guy kick a ball in real life. But so, I mean, my first instinct is he is, because I'm not a really big high opinion of Mason. But until I see this guy do something, it's Mason.
Robert, good business with Agata, the sell on?
Goodness gracious, up to $850,000 in GAM. Woo, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he somehow turns into $850,000, my God, that's a hell of a piece of business right there.
I mean, 500 is not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And that's got to be used this window, or I mean this year. That 500,000, so it's not keepable for the next year.
Yeah, it's not exactly $500,000. It's $500,000 with a timer on it and just play made up money. So,
which means that they're more likely to make a move in the window than they were before, and they do have room. They do have the possibility to bring somebody in.
Carry the other side of that conversation. Our fears have been realized. It is official. Johnny Russell is a Real Salt Lake. I don't know. I don't know what you call a Real Salt Lake player. He's a Real Salt Lake
bastard.
That's the answer. Boom.
Yeah. Now we have the fucking in the middle of his name. Now you just have to say it different. Now it's like Johnny fucking Russell.
Johnny F.U. Russell.
Yeah,
Did you see it? Did you see the photo of him in the Real training top? That looked weird.
Did not.
It looked wrong.
It didn't look right.
No. I was trying to cover up the Real part and trying to see if I still see him the same way even without the thing, but I don't now. Now that I know.
Yeah, he's tainted.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be happy for the guy though.
Yes.
He's getting paid to play soccer. He's still got some juice left in those legs. I just hope not when he's playing us.
His team finally won.
Yeah, Agata got in the match pretty late, but he got in.
Yeah, he didn't do very much.
Yeah.
I watched the very end of that game from when he came in just out of curiosity, and he wasn't in sync with anybody, but that's to be expected. I mean, the most exciting part was when the guy got a second yellow and resulting red for not throwing the ball in.
Did Johnny get in?
No, he wasn't even on the game day roster.
I do have a hot take though about this, and we don't have to open up this can of worms yet. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think he goes on the wall anymore.
Whoa! What do you mean you don't have to open up the can of worms? You just opened it, Carrie. I know it's been a discussion with him for a while because he never got a trophy. He just kind of symbolized our club through some of the darker years, honestly. It's just kind of unfortunate for him. But for me, that he's a legend. Every definition of the word legend, he's a legend for this club. Just from vibes alone. Put the man on the wall.
Is that because he was captain? Are the vibes that get him on the wall also because he tried to fight fans? Or
he tried to fight everybody, and that's why he got on the wall.
Well, that particular group of fans, it was okay.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't think he's legend because of that. I think he's a guy we honor in some way, shape, or form, but he didn't win a trophy. He was captain for a lot of bad years or mediocre years. I'm not saying that's his fault. It's just fact. But, I mean, I hope that when he's done in Salt Lake, he comes back here, does a 2-year stint of assistant coaching SKC2 and, retires and runs Paddle de Castilla, whatever the hell that place is.
Wow.
You threw an old player in there too.
La Casa de Padel is what he is doing.
Now, I'm pretty sure Cody's going to agree with this, but with some of the names that are on the wall already, if Russell's that on there, that's a complete injustice.
Thank you. He said it.
Let's remove them. Not let's add people who don't deserve it.
Well, that's a good point. That wall's not very big. They're going to run out of room if they keep doing it the way they've been doing.
And we got a lot of guys lined up, man. Beasler this year, Espinoza at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Zuzi.
Amelia.
Zuzi.
Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's all the spots left on the wall right there.
I mean, Charlie's still young, but he has trophies, and he's also has a trophy-winning goal.
And he's on the leaderboards for goals and appearances and things like that. So it's a good case.
And he came through the academy.
Yeah, kind of.
Hungarian homegrown.
Technically.
Buzio's gonna go on the wall for vibes.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. No.
Just because we're really proud of him.
Yeah, that's it.
He's in the top 5 hair for award or something,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Okay, when we come back, Thad's top 5 hairdos for Sporting Kansas City.
Llévate más de lo que esperas todos los días con el nuevo McValue en McDonald's. Ahora puedes comprar uno y sumarle otro por $1. Así que cuando tu equipo favorito enfrente a sus rivales, enfrenta tus antojos con $5 Meal Deals. Y si estás corriendo para alcanzar el desayuno, corre al app para llevarte ofertas antes del cutoff. Tú decides, y con McValue, tu decisión siempre rinde más. Precios y participación pueden variar. BOGO $1 válido para un producto de igual o menor valor. Debe estar registrado en Rewards para ofertas en el app.
Uh-oh. The last cookie.
You can get a new box of cookies in as fast as an hour with Walmart Express Delivery.
Are you my guilty self-conscience?
No, I'm the voice offering you promo code EXPRESS for free delivery on your first order.
Hey, who ate my cookies?
You mean, these cookies?
Order now. Welcome to your Walmart. Promotion valid for first express delivery order. $50 minimum subject to availability. Restrictions apply.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
All right. Thad, did you have enough time to come up with your top 5 list?
Well, considering that was all of about 20 seconds actually in our time, no. But I'll go with Busio, Failhaber, and Zusi.
Remarkable list. That is a phenomenal list.
I would have went Zusi straight down and then add Benny.
Kai Kamaro would like a word. He had like every hairstyle imaginable.
Right.
And many of the colors.
and the colors too.
It was very freaky when he had a white beard, but nothing else.
Speaking of hair colors, Temo Chawinga is rocking the teal right now. Tough loss for the current Thad. I was following along on FootMob and while working and just kind of put it away. I looked in the 80-somethingth minute. They had the lead. I felt comfortable. And then I come back a little bit later, and they had given up 2 goals in stoppage time, Thad.
Yeah, North Carolina is always hard to play at, even with, all the other factors. They still should have won there or at least got the draw. But I think that's just evident that they needed a certain amount of high impact, high moving, I'm trying to think of the right words, but people who move and give me words. I need better words than that. But
mobility.
You didn't have Michelle Cooper. You had Timois out. You had Dabinia out there, but you didn't have Claire Hutton.
Fluid.
So a lot of those.
You were looking for fluid attack, mobility. I don't know. I'm still trying to help.
Chemistry.
Yeah. Chemistry. That was good.
Not chemistry, but just like high, a lot of running.
That was a great in-depth analysis.
Well done. He was floundering. We tried to help. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'll be using that set of words when I talk about the media game for all you.
They moved. Yeah, They ran on the field.
They ran. Two of them ran.
Yeah, you can count me out on that.
Carrie, the win streak has ended after a heartbreaker.
It has. I'm not gonna say I felt like it was coming, but there was too much happening. Like North Carolina was on a 9-game winless streak. We were on a 9-game winning streak.
Trap game. It was a trap game.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Lots of injuries too.
I did not watch the game. I was sitting in my Airbnb, also following it on FootMob.
Yeah, but no Michelle, no Nichelle. Timois went out. with an injury that Vlaco said he couldn't reveal, which seemed a little weird.
Yeah.
You still had a lot of cookout, and they didn't have everybody starting that they wanted to. But Bia got a goal, so that was at least happiness.
Haley Hopkins scored.
Yep, she got a goal, so good for them.
Nice box score recap, guys. I like it. You guys are just looking at the box score right now.
No, I did see Hutton's assist. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good goal.
Yep.
A nice little high kick to start it off to control the ball.
What else we got around the soccering world in this country? Messi and Miami are in a hole for the semi-final of the CCC.
Exactly. Vancouver 2-0.
Yeah.
So they'll go.
That was Vancouver beat them all around. Vancouver.
A Berhalter scored.
Yeah, a Berhalter scored against them too.
Yeah. I mean, I think it helps Vancouver that they're on turf. Their game, on turf is going to be a lot faster, and the Miami old guys just can't stay up with that.
Yeah.
I know Miami has some young guys, but I just tailor-made for Vancouver, just see if they can hold on in Miami. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And I also think Messi and those old guys that got out there deserve a shout out. Like, it was thought that he and they were going to come here and it was a retirement league. But Messi, he's playing all of the games. He's playing out on that turf, and he's playing 90 minutes and fighting until the end and pushing and shoving until the end. I really love seeing this. The dude actually does still care, and he didn't come here to make a paycheck. Yeah,
he even came out and played when it was like 3 degrees. So when everybody said he wouldn't, he wants to play. That's everybody they underestimate him in that regard. He wants to play regardless.
He does.
I'm not sure about all the other old guys. But speaking of Berhalter doing well, did you see the other Berhalters got their ass kicked by Nashville from his former assistant, BJ Callahan?
It was at
we are not the only
7-2.
ones to get scored on 7 goals.
Yeah.
It feels good.
All right. I think the only other thing I can think of was that Wrexham, 3rd straight promotion. In the year 2025, if someone does something, anything good or bad, that's the first time in the history of English football, whatever it is, it's incredible. 3 straight promotions. Thad doesn't seem impressed by this. 3 straight promotions, and they're playing in the championship next year, Thad. That's insane.
I don't want to say I'm not impressed, but I'm less impressed that I would have been if it wasn't that some Hollywood guys just dropped in and dropped some money. I mean, that's like Man City owners can drop in and all of a sudden you go from a mediocre Premier League team to dominating the league for a bunch of years. I mean, it's just money.
Hey, Thad, it's called plot. They have to have one for their TV show. Come on.
Yeah, I will say it became way less charming. Like the magic of that first season of the show and all of that was that it was a ragtag crew. These new owners with money didn't really know what they were doing. It was a team that was just happy to be there and happy to have something, and they're saving the club. That was beautiful, and it was a good story. And then after they got promoted, at least one of those times, then all of a sudden they were the big dogs. They had spent more money than everyone else in the league. There was nothing very charming about it. But yeah, I mean, whatever they spent this year, I know Robert said there was quite a bit of roster turnover coming into this season, but I have to think that they were not actually believing that they were going to get this 3rd straight promotion.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But still a hell of an accomplishment, which also Liverpool clinching the Premier League this weekend was a hell of an accomplishment too. So
yeah, and I saw the discussion that people are saying the discussion is over, that Liverpool is the most successful English club ever, passing Manchester United. I don't know, this one title is what apparently did that.
I don't have the stats, but they have won a hell of a lot of titles, that is for sure.
Yeah. I think most people can agree we just don't want it to be Manchester United. I think everybody can get on board with that.
Forever.
Or Manchester, anything.
Oh, come on now.
Why should I like Man City? Why?
Hey,
they're the
I
noisy
just want
neighbors.
You to pick on Cody. I'm sticking up for Cody.
They're the noisy neighbors, Thad.
I don't have a team.
I have a customer at the bank that looks just like that.
Wow.
Every time he comes in, I'm like, that's Pep right there. I actually showed him a picture of Pep once. Just go, yeah, I do look a lot like him.
That's a long way to go for banking.
That guy,
Exactly.
That guy probably had nothing to do with soccer and had
No, he
idea
doesn't.
what
He
was
has no
showing
clue.
him. He's like, all right, weirdo, get away from me.
I technically have Aston Villa as my team.
Okay.
And that's only because I have a 2005 Game Boy game of FIFA, and I don't know how to change the career mode. And I still play it. I was playing it on the way
Nice.
to Cincinnati.
Nice.
If the word comes from England, don't we just say villa? We don't say via, right? If it's English,
No,
it's just
no.
villa.
But here's the thing: my sister lives in Spain, and so when I'm talking to her, it comes out the pronunciation.
That's fair.
Or else she makes fun of me.
That's fair. All right, people. Next week, LA Galaxy. It is Star Wars Day, and it is Media Game Day.
Yes, sir. Don't forget the media game. Whoever posted that on our rundown. Come on, man.
May the media go forth.
We talk a lot about the media game. That's enough. I'm excited for
So we
Star
got-
Wars Day. Did anyone watch Andor? 3 new episodes are out. You got any Star Wars people here? Oh.
No, but
I am
I'm
a Star Wars
dressed up.
guy. I just never caught up on everything. It's a lot.
Well, Andor.
I still have
Andor's
to watch
good.
the first Andor.
Yeah, watch Rogue One, and then you can watch Andor, which is based off Rogue One.
I've watched Rogue One.
Good stuff.
Me too.
I'm dressing up for the game, although I don't know Star Wars.
Oh, you got to be Leia. Are you doing the buns?
I'm Padme.
Oh, Padme. That's a very good one too. I can see it already.
I was just told who to be. And
Are you gonna do some crazy hair? Because Padme had very extravagant, wild hair. It would take you 3 hours to do the hair
And
of
makeup.
Padme. And makeup, yeah.
no, but you should stay tuned for my friends and their little bit.
Uh-oh.
I'll just say that.
Okay. Carrie's
So is
they always
somebody
have
gonna
something.
be Anakin?
Or a Wookiee?
Yes. I don't know characters. I just
Okay.
You don't
I'm
know
just told
Anakin?
to. No, one of them was Obi-Wan, I think.
Name another Star Wars character that you know.
R2D2. I played Lego Star Wars on PS2, but that's all I know.
Okay, Star Wars Night should be fun. We've talked more about that than the actual game. Any hope that we can take down the last place LA Galaxy? They have 3 points.
Yeah, they've not won a game yet.
Well, they are. I think they're playing right now against
They are
At
playing
Portland.
right now,
halftime, it's 1-0, Portland.
Okay, good. 3 points through 10 games they're about to have.
How much you want to bet Dayon gets at least 1 goal against them? Maybe 2.
Yeah, I'm feeling a brace, Thad.
Maybe he'll adjust himself again.
He said
Just for LA.
that said mildly optimistic. Now we're talking about.
He's gonna pull out his lightsaber. Is what he's gonna do.
There it is. That was mildly optimistic, and now after this podcast, he's on. We're gonna destroy the galaxy, and Jovic is gonna get a hat trick.
It's one of the few teams that Sporting is above in the standings. You got to be able to have some hope.
Yeah, we gotta drink this in, live in it while
I
we
mean,
can.
Cody just
Never
went
know.
from a brace to a hat trick, just like that.
That's what I'm
Well,
gonna
you
do in the
figured-
media game too.
The third goal is just from pulling out the lightsaber.
All right.
If one of you guys score, come over to the cauldron and get a lightsaber for your celebration.
Oh, you're gonna be in the cauldron. Where about in the cauldron? I need to remember this.
I mean, I can come down closer to wherever.
Okay, you're coming down. You're gonna come down to the left of the goalpost. The left of
Okay.
the goalpost for me.
God, I hope Cody attacks the south stand.
The right.
Is that what I?
The right of the goalpost for you. The left of the goalpost for me.
Okay.
If he's
That's,
attacking the other way, she's going to be running around the stadium just to get down to the south side.
that's usually where I sit, so it should be good.
Okay. All right, we got our plan. Look for it.
So Cody has a scoring streak. Is it a scoring streak for you, Cody, in the media game, or did you skip a year?
I think I skipped a year, and definitely, and
Yeah.
I include all of the media games, and I didn't score in the comments or the current ones. So. And see, last year there wasn't a videographer on the field. They just had people walking around taking pictures. I was not understanding that. I didn't play up to the cameras at all. I need to do better. They released like 800 pictures from that night, and not one of the pictures of me is cool. So that's what I'm going to be ready for this one. I'm going to be posing. I'm going to try to look good for the cameras.
That's why he wanted me to retire, because the last good picture he had was the one I took of him, and I made a black and white version of it. And he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And I don't know.
Well, Thad, let's hope Cody is posing in the 8 minutes we'll be on the field, because then he's not going to score any goals if he's out there posing.
It's fair.
We'll all be posing as players. So.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Sporting.
Don't seem so tough. And 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.